Get the link. Post it. Bam. Alright. Hey guys, it's Brilliant Mode, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Danganronpa. Now, we last left off in the middle of this class trial. We just started it. So, somebody died last episode. We don't know who. I believe it's Murkuro. I will say that. I believe it is something to do with Murkuro, because there was the tattoo and everything. But all shall be revealed in time. So, let's get back into the game. Yep. Tattoo on the right hand, that's gonna be it.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Explode body.
Then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
God damn it.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Damn it.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Alright.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Here we go.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
What?
Shoot!
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then
Do I have to
prove it.
memorize something?
Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I think I have to memorize and shoot.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Okay.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope.
Shoot!
What?
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Fake nails!
Then
There wouldn't be
she was
space to
wearing
put the
gloves
glove on.
before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Yep.
No.
That's what it was. There wasn't enough. You can't put gloves on if you're wearing the fake nails.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which
Yeah.
should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Yep. It's Mokuro. Mokuro Ikusawa, I believe. Tattoo on the right hand.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition,
Yep.
and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body,
No, we
Then
can't.
there's nothing else we can do,
Fuck!
right? If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
Yep.
there's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition, and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body,
Then there's
Oh,
nothing else we can do,
motherfucker.
right?
Yep.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then
Wish there
who
was a
died?
speed run for this.
there's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition,
Yep.
and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify...
Got it.
No, that's wrong. There was one
Hi.
clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
The tattoo.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I
No,
gotta
you
see.
don't.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh?
Yep.
Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Jesus
Seriously?
Christ.
They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yep. Mokuro Ikusawa's profile. Yaki has a cat. Nope. Right there. Got it.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusawa belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier
Yep.
that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
Yep. The image that represents Fenrir is the wolf. Yep. There's the W. Got it. Easy.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the wolf
Yep.
of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this
Yeah.
time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo.
Yep.
And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being
Oh.
the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly,
Alright.
that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time,
Damn.
and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who
Alright.
killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to
Okay.
wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then,
Nice.
just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then
Yep.
one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope.
Nope.
There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Yep.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
I got it!
Yeah.
You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm
Yep.
that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right.
Yep.
The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all
Yep.
have alibis. The only ones without alibis.
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
Yep.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing
Yeah.
that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder
No.
must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
Which was about
Oh,
9
but-
a.m.
What time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko,
Yep.
right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
9 o'clock.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m.
Yep.
Since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
9 on the dot.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me,
Okay.
I was already asleep before nighttime hit. So I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the diner,
Yeah.
right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10
Okay.
p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Yep. Alright. When the body ended up in the garden. What? What are we looking for? Okay.
We've established a time frame for the murder.
Alright.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
Yep.
and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Yep.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Oh, yeah.
We've established a time
no, the
frame for
type.
the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock
We noticed
at
the
night
type, remember?
and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
I do think
and
Makoto
doesn't have an
accidentally did
alibi
it.
for most of that time.
Maybe.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock
Actually, I know what really
to
happened, but...
7:30.
Huh?
Shoot!
What do you mean?
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections,
Oh.
now would be the time.
Oh, wait. Do I shoot at...
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
Yep, that's what I was supposed to shoot at. Okay. Got it.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set
Yeah.
to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly.
Yep.
The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet?
Oh,
How
no.
dare you spew such
No.
indecent words?
That's not what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny
What?
my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
What?
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Yep. Oh, is it bullet time? Yep. Bullet time.
I I hate you! No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you! No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on!
Got him.
How can you say it once?
This should prove it.
Boom. Got him.
Just remember what the body was like after the
Yep.
explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just
Oh my God.
move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because
It was on fire and I poured water over it. Yeah.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the
Yeah.
sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case,
Yeah.
the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
I'd just like to
No.
say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are
What?
you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
Ooh.
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway,
Oh my God.
Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought
What?
Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In
Hi,
other
Bat.
words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So that was her motive?
If she had a motive
no.
and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the
No.
culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Yeah.
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you?
Because you see, there is a way
Yep.
the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain
Yep.
something to keep it from getting wet.
Makoto probably did it without realizing is the thing. I don't think Makoto knows, but I'm pretty sure he did do that. Kill him. The tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that.
Yeah.
Only one side of the tarp got dirty. Because
Yeah, that's
the
what I
side
was
that
thinking
got
this
covered in
whole
water.
time.
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean.
The only thing that confuses me is why there's no
This
blood on it.
proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
And
But
how the
why
blood
would
was
they go
still
to all that
still
effort
wet.
just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Yikes. Yeah.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Yep. Body before the explosion. Didn't we say that
covering
the
the body
blood
with
was
the
wet?
tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
Yep.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing
Yeah.
down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
God fucking damn it.
By
Yeah.
covering the body with the tarp,
Come
the
on.
killer prevented it from getting wet.
Wait until the very
so
end.
the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side
Wait until the very
because
end.
the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that
Come
side
on.
was protected from the water. Since it was facing
Come
down
on.
toward the body,
Here we go.
of course it didn't get dirty.
Got it.
No, that's wrong.
Got it.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because the blood wasn't dry before the
Yeah.
body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you
I
might
know,
get
but when
some
I
on
saw I
you.
was streaming, that's fair.
If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they
Nope.
had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
What?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean
What?
someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right?
Yeah.
When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
They...
I got it!
The chickens.
Chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder,
Yeah.
there were only 4.
I didn't even think about that at first until I
So
saw it in the
you're
list.
saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway,
Okay.
there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
But here's the thing. The sprinklers go on at 7:30, which means the blood would have been put on after 7:30. When I had an alibi. So, whatever happened, I wasn't the one who fucked with
Perhaps,
anything.
but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the
Yeah.
case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
That is true.
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
Huh.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body,
What?
was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before
Yeah.
the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was
Okay.
meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's
Yeah.
actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the
Yeah.
garden after the sprinklers turned off?
Yeah.
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining
Okay.
hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Why didn't I show up till later? What?
And you had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not.
What?
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
What?
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
What?
Don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the
Yep.
body before it exploded, right?
Yep.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the
I
way
hate
through,
this.
from front to back.
I hate this.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Yeah. I was gonna say, did they take the knife and stab themselves? But then the whole moving stuff around after the fact wouldn't have made any sense. I don't think Makoto went up. Oh, god damn it.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just.
Yeah.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Yeah. But I don't have any proof.
The knife knife we found lodged in the dead body.
Might be something to do with
the same
the...
one we gave to Makoto.
Maybe
It
this.
really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Yeah.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one
Oh!
we gave to Makoto.
It really is.
Oh!
I was afraid of that.
Wait a minute.
If he did have that knife before...
I didn't even think
then
of that.
That seals it. Makoto did
I think
it.
I know what it is. I think I know what it is.
Just because I had the knife once,
I think the explosion did it.
that automatically makes me the killer?
I think the explosion
Well,
is what did
getting
it.
stabbed is what killed her, right?
What?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead
The
body.
last one?
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
I can't argue with that.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
The
If he
skies.
did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Explosion. I thought it was the
Just because I
explosion.
had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Got it. That one took me a minute.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead
Oh my
body with
God.
the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we
I
discovered
think
the
it was
body,
the mastermind. I think it was Monokuma
the
trying
knife had been
to set us
thrust
up.
through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
No. Yep. Right there.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
One stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body,
Yep.
making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab
Yeah.
wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion
Yeah.
anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well,
if you're
damn.
so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown
No.
particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Alright. Fragments of the dead body, where are they? Right there.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment
All right.
reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh!
Damn.
Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Yep.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Ugh. I don't think
Hold
Kyoko
on a
did
second,
it.
Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't
Yep.
change the facts of the case regardless.
Yep. There were a bunch of old wounds that were noticed. So that's what I want to... Monokuma file number 5.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
It did not.
Yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Right.
And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's
Yeah.
gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that,
Oops.
the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Yep.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Yep.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
No?
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The
Okay.
explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well,
Yep.
yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
It wasn't the
And
knife.
it wasn't because of the knife, right?
I think it's the last one. It might be the last one.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma
I don't remember her being
file,
hit over the head, but...
that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Nope.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead
Is
when
it?
that happened.
Do I
And
memorize?
it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that,
Huh.
the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then,
Yeah.
shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Nope.
Shoot!
Then, shall we
Hit in
continue
the back of the
debate?
head.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
That's my
Yes.
guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And
Yeah.
then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Yeah.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet...
That was it.
No, that's wrong.
That was it. Oh my god. I was really freaking out because I was like so unsure
Mukuro
there.
died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object.
Yep.
About as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible?
Ooh.
If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't
Oh my
mind
God.
testing it on you if you want.
No,
Oh
thanks.
no,
I
no,
bet
no.
you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it
Jesus
on the ground,
Christ.
and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
Guys.
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what
Oh my
was it?
god.
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
What was it? Some of these characters are the...
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the
Yeah.
back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's
Yep.
no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master?
Oh
You
no.
have
Some of these
no
guys are
right.
messed up. Yep.
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
Toko makes it very clear that she is extremely kinky, for example. Hero is extremely dumb. One more thing about that weapon, one more secret. Bloody duct tape, I think that's gonna be it.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
Yep.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master. You
Oh,
have
no.
no right!
Yeah.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo
Fuck.
locker, right?
Specific.
I have no doubt
I did-
that was the murder weapon.
I did not
Are you
know.
sure?
You don't sound convinced.
I
What's
did
the
not
problem?
mean to
Well,
shoot.
Because in the Monokuma file,
I'm gonna shoot
it
here.
said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right?
Yep.
It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Motherfucker.
Talking back to Master. You have no right!
I wish there was a way to speed this up. I don't think there is. Control key.
The titanium
Arrow. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
Well, because it said the weapon must have been about
Alright.
as thick as a metal pipe. It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Got it.
No, that's wrong.
Break.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another
Sound
weapon.
funny.
Another
Yep.
weapon?
inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape.
Yep.
The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
Yep.
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
That's
Oh,
a lie.
no. You absolutely have.
That's
How
a
can
lie.
you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's
Yep.
the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
The key. Yes. Wood block key.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying
Yeah.
to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Okay.
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
What? What?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over.
no.
A verdict is close at hand.
Wait,
No.
I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? What does that mean? So confused. When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer.
What does that mean?
You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
What?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier.
Okay. Is that guy the
You
culprit?
said I hid the evidence of my crime in the
Hold
dojo
on.
locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Oh!
Those words you just
Nice.
spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I
I got
said.
it.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
I'll memorize that. Just
Byakuya,
play it safe right
what
now.
are you hiding?
Is that guy the
Master would
culprit? I don't know who
never
that
hide
guy
something
is.
from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But
Yep, there we
could
go.
I really have done that?
Lock a key in my own room. There's proof. Okay.
Those words you just spoke.
What
Exactly. I'm not, but you should understand.
Byakuya?
Master would never.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Got it.
No, that's wrong.
Byakuya? No. I don't think so.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way
Yep.
of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
Ooh.
would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Did Byakuya plant something? Because he's done that before. What? What? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery. What? What? Should I trap? It's a lie. Supposed to do? I am so confused. How did he pick up on this was a lie? Did I miss a thing? Hold on. We've got to look back at some stuff. I need to watch this again. Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya. Right? Which would mean... Oh, nope. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't get in there. What? 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 So Kyoko killed her. But... I don't... I'm so confused.
well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact?
There's nothing I could do.
I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
Yeah.
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time.
So how did anyone get into the room?
I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them Then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? I don't know. But we'll have to figure it out next time. So my mind is like, huh? Right now. Because what Byakuya is saying makes sense. I'd be on the edge of my seat if not for the arms. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that is it for this episode. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Next time, we are going to continue with the trial. So, yeah. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Blue Emerald, signing off. Good night, everybody.